Maurice is on the line, so that means it's time to do our fence riders. But first, we got to do our Browns read.
A hot
right?
read from great director filling in here.
Yes,
by the way.
Anthony filling in
Shout
today
him
for
out.
the Nuggets.
Anthony, you're killing it.
So today's Browns Talk is sponsored by
the
Community
confidence.
College.
Smooth.
Tri-C supports their students financially, professionally, and personally, and opens up the door to endless possibilities. Tri-C, where futures start now. Classes begin January 7th, 2023. It's pronounced Cuyahoga McNuggets.
Well, I think it's Cuyahoga, but you say Cuyahoga.
I think it's a Haga. I say Haga.
Yeah,
I'm from Parma, so I guess that's just a me thing.
Mike.
Let's bring in Maurice.
Cuyahoga.
Oh, Cuyahoga all the way.
Yeah, G.
Cuyahoga.
Yeah, I'm a Cuyahoga too. Okay, hey Maurice, Merry Christmas, my friend. How are you? Oh, we
Same
got
to you.
chill.
Merry Christmas.
We got chill and laid back Maurice
Yeah.
today. I like that look, bro.
Yeah.
Maurice, it look like you got a lot of rooms in your house. It just look, you got multiple rooms. Like you keep setting up different places. I got like 2 rooms. Like my wife can find me at all times.
The family room, or he does a lot of hits from the
Or the
toilet.
bedroom. Where you at? You in there? Yes, I'm still in here, bro.
No, the baby's go. So usually I go in the basement because we got a new baby, and usually the baby's crying, and so they would be disruptive to the audio. So I usually go in the basement where, I can trap myself.
Hide out.
All right, Maurice, good to see you. You were drinking the Kool-Aid last week, and it seemed to work out for you. The
Yes.
Browns now under DeSean Watson are 2-1. The easy schedule DeSean Watson tour continues as they host the 5-9 New Orleans Saints, who are in line to either host a playoff game or have a top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
That's crazy.
That's the nuttiness that is the NFC South. But we have pretty much established the fact that their path to the playoff is a lot more clear, even though they're still a long shot, than it is for the Browns, because at 5-9 they're just a game behind the division leader, Tampa Bay. You ready to do this no fence rider thing?
Yeah, I got my answers loaded. I got the questions last night.
Nice, very good. So
Boom.
nothing off the tip of your tongue. You've thought about all of this.
No.
What's the first one,
So
Anthony?
the first one today, and we'll have Maurice answer first, is will Nick Chubb have more rushing yards than Alvin Kamara has total yards?
My answer is yes. I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that the Browns, I think the Browns are going to pick up momentum, and I'm hopeful that we enter the playoffs and that everybody's playing well going there. So I'm going to say yes.
Wow. Full of the
Okay.
Christmas spirit.
That is really
He is.
hopeful.
Yeah.
What did the group say? Let's see what the whole gang said.
Polk didn't send in his answers, so
I'll-
Polk, make sure you answer.
Sorry about that. I'm a no.
Yeah, you're a no.
Yeah.
So G, you're a yes too. Why?
Because I think part of Alvin Kamara's game is catching the football. It's going to be windy. It's going to be terrible conditions. I think that neutralizes both squads. So then it comes down to the running attack. Now, Alvin Kamara could just run for 3,000 yards in the middle. But I think, and I don't know, I might be dumb for sounding this and having faith. I think Joe Woods would, at least this game, figure out that the weather is crazy and have 96 dudes in the box.
Can I hit my no real quick?
Sure.
Okay. No. Nick Chubb was on the injury report this week. It's going to be 0 degrees.
Yeah.
The season is over. You got to see what you had out of your young guys. Why would you risk injury in conditions like this on your Pro Bowler for no reason? Are we going to learn how good DeSean Watson is at handing the ball off? Just don't play him or play him very limited. And if they do that, then he's not going to get that many yards, not because Nick Chubb isn't good or anything. That's
right.
how I feel.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And I'm telling you guys, I said this yesterday, and I got all kinds of pushback. But now on the injury report for the Browns, Chubb, Njoku, and
Garrett, right? No?
And
I thought he took a day off.
Amari
was
Cooper.
sick. Miles was
Amari Cooper. And
Cooper's hurting. Like he
he
said
is.
again
And
yesterday.
So my point yesterday was, despite the fact that I got pushback from Leroy saying, we're gladiators and we play.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I do. But I also understand that everything that this sport does now is analytically driven. And if somebody in Berea has a pro column, like the benefits to playing and the risks to playing, to me, the risks are going to be far greater than the benefits. Here's why. We've already had a chance to see Watson and Chubb and Watson and Cooper. What are we going to learn over the next 3 meaningless games? They're still going to have a 24-week break in between throwing and catching and playing football together. So what difference does it really make? I say if these guys are dinged in any way, shape, or form, err on the side of caution and let's get this damn thing together for next year.
Let's ask the authority. Maurice, do you agree with that or no?
No, he don't agree with that.
Y'all both made good points, but I tend to think about it a little bit different. It's like you want them playing well. I can get that you would want to sit him because you're thinking about next year, but you would still want a guy who goes out there and practice, trains all off season, and you're still going to want to get him his touches. That's just what I'm saying. And I think that he'll perform very well. So that's just my opinion.
Let me translate. Gladiator, we play.
And I'll translate it even better because when asked about it, Kevin Stefanski said, yeah, I hope he's playing. I really do wish he's playing. And if there's one person...
Coaches never lie.
If there's... Yeah, you're right. If there's one person who this doesn't fit, it's Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb does stuff that nobody else does. Who goes and does max out videos all across the country with high schoolers at a gym with 90,000 pounds on his back? You think he about to be like, yeah, I'm just going to sit this out?
I wish he'd cut back on that, frankly, a little bit, because I don't need him doing that.
Look,
I'm like, you're strong. We see you. You don't need to lift a truck every day in front of high school kids. Like, yeah.
Jay,
so
what's going on over in Berea? Is there a chance that they might err on the side of caution or no?
No, I think they're going to play. Now, they may be somewhat limited in the snaps that they give them, but 3 weeks, excuse me, is a long time to shut it down. If it's the last game of the season, I agree with you. I think we see a heavy dose of Jerome Ford and they shut down Nick. But there's still a lot of football left to play. Yeah. There's still 3 weeks to go. I don't know. I don't think Nick is seriously hurt. I don't think it's anything of significance.
You don't feel like them being on the list is just a precursor to us waking up Saturday, finding out they're inactive?
Well, let's find out today. Let's see the injury report today. Let's see if they participate in practice today.
What time does that come out?
A couple hours.
Okay. I'm not calling for a complete shutdown, by the way, on these guys. I'm just saying limit their reps
Pull
to
back.
be fitting of the game
Haven't they been
and
doing
the
that with
importance
Chubb
of the
all year?
moment. That's all I'm trying to say.
You sound like a politician during COVID.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say a full shutdown.
You can keep your deli open. You can keep your deli open.
Right,
just don't let anyone eat there.
The last practice before the game is usually it's the Friday practice, is a pretty good indicator of who's going to play and who's not.
But this week it's today.
That's why I'm saying. So let's wait and see today who practices, if they're full participants. If they're held out of practice today, that's a pretty good indicator they're not going.
Okay, so we should know shortly. All right, what's number 2?
Number 2, will the Browns pick off Andy Dalton twice? This one was one of our few unanimous answers this week.
We already know what it is.
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, I was going to say, I'm all over Kool-Aid, man. We got to get it going. I'm saying yes.
He's willing.
So are we still
Man
unanimous?
on an
Because
island.
I know I was
Maybe.
a no.
Maybe.
I know
Steve,
everybody
go ahead and
knows.
take it.
Man,
Hey, bro, it looked like a whole angry mob of people at the bottom. Like,
Hey, hold on. When he said it was unanimous, I had to say yes. I already knew everybody was going to say no.
You're a contrarian.
See?
You're a contrarian.
the Kyrian.
he knew we were all in the know.
Man, you know what? And here's what I've learned from this answer. You lose the title of Mr. Kool-Aid. It is official, Maurice Moret.
Maurice.
You are stirring
look.
the Kool-Aid now.
Hey, look, this
Positivity.
Yep.
He is
Look
like
at
when you know what? You have some sort of soft spot for the Browns because when you talk about any other team or topic, you be like, "Well, I ain't got no allegiance to this cat." So you just be kicking facts. Now, man, you be trolling, dude. But for the Browns, you be like, "Oh, will Jacoby Brissett and DeSean Watson throw for 1,000 yards in the same game?" I gotta go,
Yeah, you know what? He's reminding us of that skit that SNL used to do on the Bears. So if Ditka got into a fight with Superman, Batman, and Aquaman, who wins? It's Ditka.
Dumb Bears.
Yep.
Dumb
Look,
Bears.
I told you. Look, so obviously I'm from Youngstown, so you grew up with Bernie, Webster Slaughter, Leroy, Kevin Mack, all those guys. So until they pack me up and put me in a grave, and I don't care how many games they lose, it's going to be the Browns.
Man, I love the loyalty. I really
How
do.
did the Browns do this to us? How?
You know what?
How does this happen?
It is like we've been mass hypnotized.
Like, it's crazy.
And we make the Kool-Aid reference, but really is kind of Jim Jones. Like, Jim Jones got 900 people to drink purple Kool-Aid, telling them that if you do, you get eternal salvation. Somewhere, I don't know if it was Paul Brown or Art Modell, somewhere, somebody put that spell on us because we would drink it.
And because all of us are, like, when the fandom that oozes out of us, like, if the Browns won the Super Bowl, I'm not going to lie, I would cry.
I would cry, too.
I know Pope would cry.
I'd take a week off work.
Like, I'd be, bro.
I'd be on deadline. I ain't crying. I got too much work to do.
You try to get to this bag.
You'll cry after you file your story.
Well, let's keep plowing through these there. Let's try.
Yeah, so
let's get
number
to
3 is, will DeSean Watson attempt at least 20 passes in this game? We saw Betsy yesterday with that wind. I'm saying no for this one.
If Greg Roman takes over as offensive coordinator, we will.
What do you say, Maurice?
I'm going to. Yeah, the only reason I'm saying yes is because you have to. It's for continuity purposes. Like, you don't, I know that he has a 5-year contract. He's going to get a lot more passes than this year, but you still want to see him perform up under game time and just get his rhythm back and get his feet up under him and get his reps. So I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Anybody else say yes?
How many did he throw last week?
It was 28, 18 for 28
I'll go yes.
Let's see what the group said.
for 180, or 168.
Okay, everybody did.
I'm surprised I did. What the hell am I thinking?
Wow.
I don't
Jay,
even
would you like
remember
to
my
change your
answers.
answer?
Yeah.
Well, it's Kevin Stefanski.
20's not a very high.
And,
No.
I mean, he threw the ball 40 times with Brissett.
Kevin
Yeah.
Stefanski?
Yeah, he
Yeah, you're right.
That's
You're right.
five. I mean, it's 5 a quarter. That's not a very high number.
Yeah, and that screen passes count too.
Right.
I mean, but Betsy was on the show with us yesterday. She
50.
said there are going to be 50 to 60
Yeah, I
mile an
know.
hour wind
Yeah.
gusts. And the interesting thing was, Bull and I touched on this, we could have a bigger than 65-yard field goal because it's going to be going west to east.
Right into the dog pound.
The
right
entire
in face
game
of
into the
pound.
dog pound. He could try a 75
Hey,
yarder.
if he hits that bull, it's gonna go
Oh.
crazy.
Let's focus on extra points.
He's gonna go
Bull,
nuts
hey.
if he hit that. He'll be devastated.
I think between shovel passes, they're not
Yeah.
going to throw it 30 yards down the
No.
field.
Yeah.
You're not trying to
Well,
drive it down
he
the
hasn't
field.
done that anyhow.
Yeah.
It's been a short
But with
passing
the
game.
dinks and dunks, I think I said on Monday's show, his average depth of target in the first half was 3.5 yards.
Yeah.
You could do that in 50-degree winds.
I can
Like,
reach that far.
yeah.
I think. I'm pretty sure. I think I.
All right, what's next?
So, speaking of extra points, will either team attempt a field goal of at least 45 yards this week?
Of course they will.
After I heard, Jay, what you said, what the wins will be, of course, I'm pretty sure there'll be somebody knowing that going into it in the pregame. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be kicking along with the wind to see, just what level of accuracy they have with the conditions. So I'll say yes.
What the group say?
I'd just like to say, G said no, even though he just said, of course they will.
Captain knee-jerk.
Yeah.
Can't remember either. We got
Hey, my moments be like eternities to other people.
you are the Duke of Nietzsche.
like that was years ago, bro. I'm in a different portal, fifth dimension.
I think this brings up an interesting question. Phil Dawson is not kicking in the NFL right now. Why is Phil Dawson not here teaching Cade York how to kick? He should be down there with blades of
had that
grass.
conversation.
He should be down there with blades of grass, just being like throwing him up in the air at the 50-yard line, being like, you got to go a little left right there. Like, he should be teaching him all this stuff.
Well, Phil had the Dawson flag installed at the
Yes.
stadium in
Yeah.
the one corner toward the dog
I
pound.
want Phil as a game day consultant on the sidelines for all 8 home games at least.
I just wonder
Scowling
if he's just
at
not
everyone.
interested. I just wonder if he's just not interested. He's happy in Texas, and he's just not interested
You
in
can
the
be
job.
happy in Texas, but make $1 million a year for
I
8
agree.
days and
I
come
agree.
in.
Yeah.
You keep bringing up the point, whether we like it or not. It is a big facet of the game, and
Yeah.
a lot of games are decided by 3 points or less.
Yep.
And there are a lot of missed field goals that
Yeah.
can change the outcomes of these things. If you can do one little thing, like bring in a guru to stand on
Right.
the sidelines and just be his personal kicking coach.
No salary cap on coaches. Hey, Jimmy,
Bring
why don't
him
you
in.
back up that Brinks truck? Actually make like a worthwhile payment on something and bring in Phil Dawson. Stop, take some of that JD Vance money.
Nobody knows the stadium better than Phil. Nobody knows
Yeah,
the wins
I know.
better. And I thought Betsy had a great point yesterday when she talked about, listen, if you're in the dog pound, you're going to get punished because the wind's coming through that southwest gate.
Yep.
It's going to make kicking into that end, the closed end, almost impossible. So no one's trying a 45-yard field goal at that end. And I just think it swirls too much at the other end to try. You may have a massive gust at your back, but the way, and you can't even, that's why I was starting to say Phil had that flag installed. You can't even really depend on the little tassels that they have at the top of the
they're
uprights.
inaccurate.
Yeah. So you really need to look at that flag, and I don't know that Cade is ready to really know that flag and how to adjust and everything, and certainly New Orleans kicker's not, so I say no.
I wonder if we could get Phil on the show and ask Phil, what would your interest be in doing something like that? I would love, do you have his digits?
I
Could you
do.
reach
I
out
had
to
a
him?
long conversation with him a couple years ago.
I wonder if he would come on the show and just have a chat with us about this.
He doesn't like doing a lot of media.
Doesn't?
But the way that I phrased it to him, I said, "What's wrong with kickers today?" And he's like, "I'm going to talk about that because you're wrong."
Yeah.
And he totally flipped my mindset. In an hour conversation, he totally flipped the way that I look at kicking in the NFL. It was a fascinating conversation.
Well, I think because
I would love to have
Cade
him
has
on.
been such a kind of a, not polarizing guy, but he's had an up and down rookie season, and they drafted him so highly. I think at some point in the offseason, it'd be great to see if Phil will come on with us and just talk kicking and the mentality of kicking.
I need to ask him a question. You know how the trajectory of football has to be lower when you kick it from deep?
Yeah.
I was just sitting there thinking, like, could they take, Harbaugh does this on 2-point conversions, could they do like a muddle huddle and take half the line and split them out to the left, half of the line, split them to the right, and only have 3 dudes on the line of scrimmage? And then that way, once he kicks it, it's not as many people to block it.
So it's basically like a ready. You think that the defense then would have to honor all that and split out? I don't know. It's weird how they do punts now. Maurice, I don't know if you ever played on punt team, but it's funny how the formations for punting the football have changed so radically in the last decade. Now, when you look at it, it's like it's not the first line and last line of defense and the punter. They surround him with 3 guys, and they're the bodyguards to make sure no one gets through at the last second. Yeah. Did you ever play on punt protection or during your time?
Yeah, I played on punt protection and punt rush. But punt protection, I played the wing where, you do a few drop kicks and you set and you got to catch the. It's either like a smaller DB or a wide receiver who's usually trying to rush, and I was also the A-gap rusher. But you're 100% correct where they formed like a the offensive linemen are like they're angled more, and then they have a like the pocket, 2 on one side, 1 on the other,
right,
and then they kind of come in once the ball is snapped. So that was after I was done playing. I didn't see that when I played.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing.
That's new.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, can you be innovative? If they innovative on punt, be innovative on field goal team too.
Yeah, maybe. It's an interesting thought. All right, Ant.
All right, question number 5. Will Tyson Hill be involved in a scoring play of any kind? That includes passing, rushing, and receiving.
Maurice?
Hey, look, I don't know why I looked at G. Bush's picture with the thumbs down, and so I'm taking that as like my sign from God to say no.
This dude found a way.
I love his logic.
He found a way to be a cheerleader for the Browns. Yeah. He found a way to get that off.
Yeah. No. So what did we say?
Sign from
What was the group?
Let's take the group picture here, Steve.
Somebody explain this Taysom Hill experiment to me and if it's working, as far as this weird experimental position that he's playing.
Yeah, I don't think it's
And
working.
they paid him a bag of money, too.
I know they did.
Is it working?
Not really.
Well,
no.
what's their record? They're 5-9. And
right.
so I think it all started with Sean Payton, who likes to fancy himself as the innovator offensively. Mm-hmm. I used to hate, and I mean hate with a capital H, watching him pull a Hall of Fame quarterback and one of the greatest ever to play that position off the field for a Tim Tebow wannabe. I just thought it was so disrespectful, and Drew handled it well.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, man.
Was it effective when he did it, though,
There were
consistently?
times that it was effective. I don't know what the analytics
Okay.
would say, but I just think overall it's gimmicky.
Yeah.
And I was never a fan of it.
It's absolutely gimmicky, and I think NFL teams are so obsessed with how they make other teams prepare and giving them other things. And if you have to spend 10 minutes of your practice going over when we bring Tyson Hill into the game and the goal line packages, that's 10 minutes less that you're spending over here. And I really think that's part of it, is just teams have to prepare for it, and that takes away preparation time for other areas. I don't necessarily like it either. it's 100% a gimmick, but it's obviously something that they believe in.
Did you ever have to deal with anything like this, Maurice? Did anybody ever try or anything? Like a hybrid player of this sort? Did you play with, and was it confusing?
You lost a lot of touchdowns to Lydell Ross your first game. I remember that. Is that the same thing? Jim made Maurice take him to the goal line against Texas Tech, and then he bring Lydell Ross and let Lydell get somebody else.
Yeah. No, but what you said was actually correct when you said that other teams will see you use a package of some sort, and you are 1,000% correct. And people will spend time away from getting regular reps on what they regularly see and prepare for this other stuff. And some people may view that as a competitive advantage. So I didn't have that line of thinking when you said that, but I think that may be some reasoning or logic behind why people do what they do, or why Sean Payton probably did what he did.
Well, he wasn't running it right. If you want Taysom Hill to be successful in that play, you got to implement what I call the double direct snap. You got to have two quarterbacks in the backfield, and
you don't know which one's going to get it.
If you read option to him and you give it to him, have him take the ball, and then they can run a RPO off of that. So he can either throw the ball or run the ball, and he can keep it. Now, the reason Wildcat don't work no more is people forgot. Darren McFadden used to actually throw the ball. He used to throw the ball to people. Like, you can't just snap it to somebody and they'd be like, oh, you're confused. They're not. You still have to have routes and different things. So if you had two quarterbacks in the backfield and Taysom Hill can throw, he can have an option to throw on a package of plays. That would really
The thing is, he's not a very good thrower of the football.
Yeah, but I mean, also, I agree with you. Taking Drew Brees off the field is malpractice for Taysom.
Yeah.
Right now, you're dealing with Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. It's not the same.
You want to pull one of those
You can
schlebs off, that's
You can
fine.
take them off to bring
But
him
when I
on.
would see Drew Brees running to the sideline and Taysom Hill taking the handles of the offense, it used to just infuriate
It's a big drop off.
Yeah.
Huge drop off. Okay, we have one more, right?
All right, last question for this week. Will the Browns and Saints combined pass for more than 300 yards?
Oh, I would say yes. Have to.
Let's see what the group said.
Even with the wind. I said
got
yes,
one
too.
no.
I don't even know who I am
Yeah, G.
anymore.
Bush, what are you talking about? Hey, G. Bush, explain yourself, man.
Yeah.
No. Man, they're going to get y'all forget. Remember them games against the Raiders a couple years ago? Raiders, a couple games against Philadelphia where the wind was crazy and they couldn't even throw the rock. They're not going to be throwing the ball like this. If you get 150 yards, and Andy Dalton don't even really have that strong of an arm.
But you could have a 6-yard throw to Kamara and he takes it 80.
That's what I'm counting.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise
what
me.
I'm-
You could have the same with Chubb.
Right. That's
or
what we
Hunt.
talked about earlier.
So
about
the
they're
ball's not going to travel long
Right.
distances through the air.
Right.
But if
could
you
throw
get
it
somebody
3-4
guessing
yards.
wrong on a frozen field,
Yep.
long
You
runs
can
happen.
catch guys in the flat, screen passes, shovel passes, that sort of thing. 300's not a high bar, even in this weather.
I got Andy Dalton at 125, and I got DeSean Watson up to 300.
Now, I will say, like the last time DeSean played in weather like this here, he was horrible.
Oh, terrible.
He was awful. To the point where he said that impacted his decision why he initially crossed Cleveland off his list first was because the weather was so bad. They had a delay. I mean, I have to go back and pull up his numbers. This year he led the league in passing. He was awful. It
was like 100 yards.
And
He
the
played
weather
horrible.
Saturday is going to be even worse than it was that day he was here.
Okay.
So that is something to factor.
Hey, before we let you go, Maurice, give us a score and a winner, and then I want you to close it out by saying you have probably everything you would like to have, but one thing you don't have that you would like to see under your tree for Christmas, but give us the score first.
Oh, so the score, let's go 28-7. All right.
Oh, high
But
scoring.
one thing I would like to see under my tree, it probably won't fit. I want a cold tub. I'm getting a little bit older, and I need me a cold tub. So I see these things on Instagram. They got these little cold plunge tubs, and I got to figure out how to get myself a cold plunge tub because I'm getting older, and I run a lot, or I do a lot of the stair climber, and my legs, they just don't recover the same way.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Tim Tebow got that cryogenic thing. You see him and his girl talk about regeneration. I'm not giving myself no damn IV. What the hell is
Hey, I don't
Tim
have-
Tebow got a
Hey.
shirt.
Yeah, Tim Tebow. No, Tim Tebow got Tim Tebow money. I got Maurice Claret money.
That's it.
Maurice, you're the best, man. Merry Christmas to you and your beautiful family. I
Christmas
hope
to
you
you all.
enjoy it, and we'll talk next week,
All right.
okay?
All right,
See you,
man.
buddy.
See you, bud.
All right.
Tim